Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Augustus, and I'm here again with another episode of Doki Doki Literature Club. It's going to take me a bit to get used to that. When we last left off, we were reading the poems and sharing our poems with Sayori and Natsuki. And in this episode, we're going to share our poems with Yuri and hopefully Monica. So, Yuri, you're up. Yuri stares at the poem. A minute passes, more than enough time for her to finish reading. Sorry. I forgot to start speaking. It's fine. Don't force yourself. I'm not. I just need to put my thoughts into words. Hold on. Okay. This is your first time writing a poem, right? Yeah? Why do you ask? I'm just making sure. I guess that it might be after reading through it. So it's that bad? No? Did I just raise my voice? I'm so sorry. Yuri buries her face in her hands. I can't help but notice that it's been several minutes and we really haven't gotten anywhere. It might take Yuri a while to get used to new people. It's fine, I really didn't notice. What were you saying? Right, It's just that there are specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers. And having been through that myself, I kind of learned to pick up on them. I think the most noticeable thing I recognize in new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick a writing style separate from the topic matter, and they form-fit the two together. That's not always a bad thing. The end result is that both the style and the expressiveness are weakened. Once Yuri finds her train of thought, it's as if her demeanor totally changes. Her stammering is completely gone, and she sounds like an expert. Of course, that is not something you can be blamed for. There are so many skills and techniques that go into writing even a simple poem. Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part. It might take you some time, but it all comes with practice and learning by example and trying new things. I also hope that everyone else in the club gives you valuable feedback. Natsuki can be a little biased, though. Biased? How? Well, never mind. I shouldn't be talking about people like that. Sorry. It's fine. I'm not sure if Yuri is apologizing to herself, to me, or to Natsuki. Do you mind if I read your poem now? Please do. I'd love to share my thought process behind it. Yuri smiles dreamily as if it's a rare opportunity for her, which itself is kind of funny. After all, isn't this supposed to be a literature club? Yeah, I'm not great at, I don't know what it is about how she writes, or how the writing for this was done. I'm not great at reading this. Although, I need to get some water. I will hold on just a moment, please. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and I have water. And I guess now I'll read the poem. Ghost under the light. The tendrils of my hair illuminate beneath the amber glow, bathing. It must be this one, the last remaining streetlight to have withstood the test of time, the last yet to be replaced by the sickening blue-green of the future. I bathe, calm, breathing air of the present, but living in the past. The light flickers. I flicker back. Yeah, as a bit of a spoiler, I happen to, or not spoiler, revealing what's behind the scenes information. I just looked up the poem text because I didn't want to try to read that with my shitty vision on the, whatever. I'm sorry, I have such terrible handwriting. Her handwriting is actually quite good, technically. It's just, there's something about the way that she writes cursive, or her cursive is written, that I don't know, I just don't have an easy time reading it, despite, being able to read and write in cursive very easily. I've met a couple of people like that in life as well, and it's usually because their handwriting is small and in cursive, despite it being very good, but, it is what it is. What? I wasn't thinking that at all. But it took you a long time to read. I was getting water. Sue me. Well, I just don't read script very often. That is also true. I do not read script very often. I actually think your handwriting is pretty. Huh? That's a relief. Also, I liked the poem. I didn't particularly. Even though it's short in a way, it was really descriptive. It wasn't too short. I usually write longer poems. Not at all. I'm really glad you like it. I'll be honest. Since it's our first time sharing, I wanted to write something a little more mild. Yeah, I didn't really like it, to be honest. It's kind of, I don't know. I think it's written in a sort of more of a Gothic-esque style, not outright Gothic, and I mean Gothic as not as in the Lord Byron sense, but Gothic as in the, a goth kid kind of sense, which is not entirely, but kind of sort of. I don't know. I'm rambling. Something easier to digest, I suppose. Are you into ghosts, Yuri? Actually, the story isn't about a ghost at all, Augustus. Really? I must have totally missed the point. Well, it's up to you. Well, I suppose you did only glance at it after all. But remember that poems often express their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences in their work. They usually do more than tell a simple story or paint a picture. That's not true. Most of them, I don't know, most of the poetry that I like to read is usually just painting a picture or telling a simple story, or, the ones that are chock full of symbolism, kind of, I don't know, it's a bit too much for me, a bit too over the top. I do like some. I like Coleridge's stuff. Whatever. In this case, perhaps the subject of the poem is only being symbolically compared to a ghost, lingering in her last remaining place of comfort, unable to let go of the past, and soon to be left with nothing. That's a lot more solemn, putting it that way. I hadn't even thought of that. That's impressive. It's nothing, really. Well, it makes me happy that you think of that. Just remember that it won't be long before you pick up on these things, too. Yeah, Yuri is a bit of a snob whenever it comes to her stuff. Just a little. I've met worse. I've interacted with worse, but she is just a little bit of a snob. Yeah, maybe you're right. I guess I'll have to keep trying. Actually, the slight snobbish attitude that she has about literature in general kind of, I think that might actually be one of the reasons why I don't really like her poems as much. I guess I'll just have to keep trying. I'm counting on you. Ooh, okay, now we can share our poem with Monica. Hi, Augustus. Having a good time so far? Yeah. Good, glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you have any suggestions for the club, like a new activity or things we can do better, I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay? Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Of course I'll be afraid to bring things up. I'm much better off just going with the flow until I'm more settled in. Anyway, want to share your poem with me? It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to. Ha ha ha. Don't worry, Augustus. We're all a little embarrassed today, But it's that sort of barrier that we'll all learn to get past soon. Well, that's true. I hand Monica my poem. I like this one. It makes me think of something Sayori would like. Is that so? You and Sayori are really good friends, right? I wouldn't be surprised if you had those sort of things in common. Well, we may be good friends, but Sayori and I are actually really different. Well, that may be the case, but maybe there is also some similarities that you wouldn't expect. The way she talks about you, it sounds like the two of you really care about each other's well-being. Even if you don't show it in different ways, it ends up being more similar than you'd think. So I think that's the kind of vibe I get when reading your poem. You sure you're not reading into it too much? I could be. Oh gosh, I sound like Yuri. But in any case, Sayori's writing has kind of a gentle feel to it. I can tell that she likes exploring with emotions like happiness and sadness. Who knew that someone so happy would enjoy sad things too? Yeah, that's totally unexpected. Well, to each their own. And you shouldn't be afraid to experiment a little bit either. I'm sure you'll end up trying different things a lot. It could take a while before I feel comfortable doing this. That's okay. I love to see you try new things. That's the best way to find the kind of style that suits you. Everyone else might be a little biased towards their own kinds of styles, but I'll always help you find what suits you the most. So don't force yourself to write the way that everyone wants you to write. It's not like you have to worry about impressing them or anything. Anyway, do you want to read my poem now? Don't worry, I'm not very good. You sound pretty confident for someone who claims to be not very good. Well, that's because I have to sound confident. That doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know. I see. Well, let's read it then. Hole in wall. It couldn't have been me. See the direction the sparkle protrudes. A noisy neighbor, an angry boyfriend. I'll never know. I'll never know I wasn't home. So I was distracted by something going on. Never mind. I peer inside for a clue. No, I can't see. I reel, blind like a film left out in the sun. I'm having difficult. Can I not scroll? Weird. Wouldn't scroll for a second there. Interesting. A little bit of a behind-the-scenes thing. My monitor is quite a ways from me because of my my microphone, so it's kind of hard to read sometimes. There are noises outside. But it's too late. My retina's already surrendered with a permanent copy of the meaningless image. I always scorched. Bleh. It's just a little hole. It wasn't too bright. It was too deep, stretching forever into everything. A hole of infinite choices. I realize now that I wasn't looking in. I was looking out. And he, on the other side, was looking in. Is that a... Okay then, Monica. I see your game. Weird. I found a little dead zone on the thing where I can't scroll. Fun. Whatever. Interesting little poem there, Monica. So, what do you think? It's very freeform, if that's what you call it. Sorry, I'm really not the person to ask for feedback. It's okay. Yeah, that kind of style has gotten pretty popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful. What was the inspiration behind this one? I was just thinking about that myself, actually, Monica. If that is your real... No, I'm kidding. Well, I'm not sure how to put it. I guess you could say that I had some kind of epiphany recently. It's been influencing my poems a bit. An epiphany? Yeah, something like that. I'm kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that because it's kind of coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone is better friends with each other. Anyway, we're all friends. Friends love each other. Here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. Yes, it does. If you try so hard to make it perfect, you'll never make any progress at all. That is actually very good advice. Just force yourself to get something down on the paper and tidy it up later. That is actually legitimately good advice. Another way to think about it is this. If you keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you'll just get a big dark puddle of ink. So just move your hand and go with the flow. And that's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. That's very good advice, actually. Yeah, that is very good advice. Phew. I guess that's everyone. I glanced around the room. That was a little more stressful than I anticipated. It's as if everyone is judging me for my mediocre writing abilities. Even if they're just being nice, there's no way my poems can stand up to theirs. This is a literature club, after all. I sigh. I guess that's why I ended up getting myself into. Across the room, Sayori and Monica are happily chatting. My eyes land on Yuri and Natsuki. They gingerly exchange sheets of papers sharing their respective poems. As they read in tandem, I watch each of their expressions change. Natsuki's eyebrows furrow in frustration. Meanwhile, Yuri smiles sadly. What's with this language? Huh? Did you say something? Oh, it's nothing. Natsuki dismissively returns the poem to the desk with one hand. I guess you could say it's fancy. Thanks. Yours is cute. Cute? Did you completely miss the symbolism or something? It's clearly about the feelings of giving up. How can that be cute? I know that. I just meant the language, I guess. I was trying to say something nice. Eh? You mean you have to try that hard to come up with something nice to say? Thanks, but it didn't really come out nice at all. Well, I do have a couple suggestions. If I was looking for suggestions, I would have asked someone who actually liked it, which people did, by the way. Sayori liked it, and Augustus did too. I did like it. So based on that, I'll gladly give you some suggestions of my own. First of all, excuse me, I appreciate the offer, but I've spent a long time establishing my writing style. And if you can't take advice about it, then you're, well, I'm not going to say you're a bad writer, but, always improve. Always strive to be better. Always take advice, even if you're not going to use it. Always listen to it, because you never know what kind of advice you might get. I don't expect you to change anytime soon, unless, of course, I come across something particularly inspiring, which I haven't yet. And Augustus liked my poem too, Let's not get too hasty here. He even told me he was impressed by it. Natsuki suddenly stands up. Oh, I didn't realize you were so invested in trying to impress our new member, Yuri. That's not what you're just... Yuri stands up as well. Maybe you're just jealous that Augustus appreciates my advice more than he appreciates yours. Huh? And how do you know he didn't appreciate my advice more? Your advice kind of sucked, actually. Your poem was nice, but your advice was kind of, Are you that full of yourself? No. If I was full of myself, I would deliberately go out of my way to do everything I do overly cutesy. Is everyone okay? Well, you know what? I wasn't the one whose booze magically grew a size as soon as Augustus started showing up. What was that? Natsuki. Natsuki, that's a little... This doesn't involve you. I don't like fighting, guys. Suddenly, both girls turned towards me as if they noticed I was standing there. Augustus, she's just trying to make me look bad. That's not true. She started it. If she could get over herself and learn to appreciate that simple writing's more effective, well, you're kind of snobbish as well, to be fair. But no type of writing is more effective in my opinion. All types of writing are equally valid, because each have very different meanings and purposes and so on and so forth. Blah, I think I just hit my mute button on accident. Whatever. What's the point in making your poems convoluted for no reason? The meaning should jump out at the reader, not force them to have to figure it out. Help me explain that to her, Augustus. Oh, wait. There's a reason we have so many deep and expressive words in our language. It's... weird noise outside. I think it's just windy, but music and headphones. Also, this track is quite nice. It's kind of funny. It's the only way to convey the complex feelings and meaning most effectively. Avoiding them is not unnecessarily limiting yourself. It's also a waste. You understand that, right, Augustus? Well, kill me. How did I get dragged into this in the first place? I'm actually not horrible at dealing with situations like this, mostly because of my very non-serious demeanor. People don't tend to take what I say too seriously, so I can just say something, whatever. This music's making me laugh. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just tired and no, I'm not tipsy. I haven't drank that much. It's not like I know anything about writing, but whoever I agree with, they'll probably think more highly of me. So of course that's going to be Sayori, help me. Sayori, help me, please. Natsuki? Natsuki glares at me, drying up any words I had in my mouth. So instead, I turn to Yuri. Yuri? But Yuri's expression is so defenseless that I can't bring myself to say anything to her. Sayori? Huh? Yeah. Everyone's fighting is making Sayori uncomfortable. How can the two of you keep fighting when you know you're making your friend feel like this? Augustus. Well, that's her problem. This isn't about her. I agree. It's unfair for others to interject their feelings into our conflict. You pulled me into this. You cunt. You fuck. Yeah, unless Sayori wants to tell Yuri that she's a stuck-up jerk she's being. She would never. It's your immaturity that made her upset in the first place. Yes, deflected away from me. Excuse me. Are you listening to yourself? This is exactly why nobody likes... Stop. Natsuki, Yuri. I can't remember what voice I did for Sayori. What was it? You guys are my friends. I just wanted everyone to get along and be happy. My friends are wonderful people. And I love them because of their differences. Natsuki's poems, they're amazing because they give you so many feelings with just a few words. And Yuri's poems are amazing because they paint beautiful pictures in your head. Everyone's so talented. So why are we fighting? Because... well... Also, Natsuki's cute and there's nothing wrong with that. And Yuri's boobs are the same as they always were. Big and beautiful. Nice comment there. No H scenes, please. Sayori stands triumphantly. Monica stands behind her with a bewildered expression. I'll make some tea. Yuri rushes off. Natsuki sits down with a blank expression, staring at nothing. So, this is why Sayori is the vice president. I whisper to Monica. She nods in return. To be honest, I might come off as a good leader and I can organize things, but I'm not very good with people. Met quite a few people like that, actually. I couldn't even bring myself to interject. Yeah, I can be put on the spot and I'm fine with that. I'm a very good speaker, public speaker. Like, I can talk to a crowd very well. I don't really like talking to people, like, as an interaction, though. It's not as fun. Oh well. As president, that's kind of embarrassing of me. Nah, it's not like I can blame you. I wasn't able to say anything either. Well, I guess that means Sayori's amazing in her own ways, isn't she? You could say that. She might be an airhead, but sometimes it's weirdly suspicious that she knows exactly what she's doing. I see. Take good care of her, okay? I would hate to see her either. I would hate to see her get herself hurt. Ah, that makes two of us. You can count on me. Monica smiles sweetly at me, causing my stomach to knot. Such a genuine person really does make a good president, regardless of what she says. If only I could get the chance to talk to her a little more. I agree. I would like to talk to Monica a little more. Okay, everyone. It's just about time for us to leave. How'd you all feel about sharing poems? It was a lot of fun. Well, I'd say it was worth it. It was alright. Well, mostly. Augustus, how about you? Yeah, I'd say the same. It was a neat thing to talk about with everyone. Awesome. In that case, we'll do the same thing tomorrow. And maybe you'll learn something from your friends, too. So your poems turn out even better. I think to myself, I did learn a little more about the kinds of poems everyone likes. With any luck, that means I can at least do a better job impressing those I want to impress. I nod to myself with newfound determination. Augustus, ready to walk home? Sure, let's go. Hey. Sayori beams at me. It truly has been a while since Sayori and I have spent this much time together. I can't really say I'm not enjoying it either. Sayori, about what happened earlier. Eh? What do you mean? Between Yuri and Natsuki. Does that kind of thing happen often? No. That's not really the first time I've seen them fight like that. I promise they're both wonderful people. You don't hate them, do you? No, I don't hate them. I just want your opinion, that's all. I can see why they'd make good friends with you. Phew. You know, Augustus, it's nice that you get to spend this time with you in the club. It's nice that I get to spend this time with you in the club. But I think seeing you get along with everyone is what makes me the happiest. And I think everyone really likes you, too. That's... Every day is going to be so much fun. Sigh. It looks like Sayori hasn't caught on to the kind of situation I'm in. Sure, being friends with everyone is nice, but does it really need to stop there? We'll just have to see what the future holds, Sayori. I pat Sayori on the shoulder. I said that more to myself than to her, but it's easy to use Sayori as an internal monologue sometimes. Okay. Yeah. Let's do this. I'm actually going to save here very quickly, in case I don't get the... scratching my shoulder. In case I don't get the result that I want. Let's see. Hurt. Yep. Let's see. Unending. I want to get more than 10, preferably 15 would be great. But more than 10 for sure. Anxiety. Misery, infinite, fester, contamination, fickle, extreme, lust, lucky. Misery? Yes. Despise. Dance, playground, starscape, anime, essence, dark, existence, flying, vivacious. Despise? Yeah. I'm already good. Passion, warm, dazzle, landscape, covet, amazing, candy, poof, boop, and papa. Passion. Get together, happiness, marshmallow, electricity, clumsy, imagination, pleasure, whistle, charm. Happiness? Yeah. Twirl, sugar, after image, infallible, ocean, hair, hope, peace, philosophy, smile. Hope? Good. Climax, childhood, scars, explode, kitty, misfortune, vanilla, lazy, broken, journey. Analysis, pain, meager, rainbow, cage, bliss, destiny, feather, headphones, socks. Destiny? Ambient, empty, fluffy, skirt, grief, pink, comfort, cheer, joy, rain cloud. Heaven Sent, Melody, Kawaii, Kiss, Sensation Time, Adventure, Sweet, Disarray, Cheeks. Cheek, okay. Let's go with Sweet. Tenacious, Puppy, Skipping, Forgive, Spinning Top, Whirlwind, Shopping, Sticky, Disown, Give. Unstable, Depression, Massacre, Question, Loud, Fireflies, Melancholy, Incapable, Flower, Prayer. Waterfall, Agony, Hopeless, Jump, Parfait, Unrequited, Captive, Calm, Tragedy, Shame, Unrequited. Insight, Sing, Bouncy, Tears, Atone, Love, Lipstick, Sunset, Suicide, Music. Precious, Pure, Lollipop, Unrestrained, Anger, Defeat, Wrath, Daydream, Raindrops, Strawberry. Precious. Awesome, Fireworks, Alone, Fear, Breathe, Nature, Inferno, Friends, Bubble, Vivid. Alone. Milk, Incongruent, Extraordinary, Special, Email, Intellectual, Family, Memories, Bed, Disaster. Special? Agonizing, Wonderful, Secretive, Pout, Holiday, Shiny, Nightgown, Doki Doki, Chocolate, Summer. Wonderful. Okay. Okay, and this is where I'm going to end off this episode. A little bit longer than I was wanted, but not by too much. But you know that means for next time, more sharing poems, and well, we've got points with Sayori, so we're probably going to have another scene with Sayori, and maybe there'll be more arguing between the I couldn't think of a good name to call them, between the goth kid and the bubbly, well, I don't know what to call. Yuri's not really goth either, to be fair. The emo kid and the tsundere. So, more of that next time. More poems. I hope to see you all next time in Doki Doki Literature Club.